What's the crack, nutsacks? And a hearty fnar to you all. It's Finbarr Saunders here, and we are back. That's right, the all-new Anime Hour has made it beyond its first episode, and we have survived the wrath of our frog overlord for one more week at least. So let's all rejoice that we're still here, talking classic and current anime, and giving you all an insight into the shows and movies that are near and dear to our hearts. So joining me on this journey is the woman who puts the me in anime. It's the coolest werewolf herself. The awesome myself in comics is here. Bianca, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Is it coolest or coolest? Am I just not up in the phrases for the kids these days? Or is that a typo? It's coolest, yeah?
Yeah, it doesn't really exist. It's a Drake and Josh reference.
So it is something the kids use. I'm just an old man, right? Okay.
Right.
So Bianca,
yes.
forgetting that I'm an old man then, has anything been happening recently in your world since we last met?
Just working and scheduling interviews and then trying to do a stream, but then saying, I'm too tired next time.
Yeah. I'm glad that didn't happen tonight. I'm sorry I haven't been around much. I know I am sub to you, but I haven't noticed that you went live recently, so I think I did.
Did you put that bell notification on? Is it
don't do that for
all and not personalized?
No, I don't do that for anybody, and it's not no offense. Like, I don't want my phone buzzing every 5 seconds with people going live. But
when do I go on every 5 seconds? Please tell me. I'm
not talking about you. I have many.
Then for me, do it for me, not for anybody else. You turd.
But you guys all stream at ungodly hours to me, so
7 in 4 hours is gone ungodly hours.
Right, I tell you what. For you, I'll put the notifications on just for you, for your channel, and I promise you, I'll be there for moral support. I'll probably spend most of the time in your chat griefing everybody, but it would be mainly for moral support.
Great.
But obviously, I've been out there myself trying to promote the shit out of this show any chance I get. I don't know if you've seen all that. I even offered the viewers of Gabbing with Geeks a photo of my arse if we hit 200 views on our first episode. But are you aware of this? Did you hear any of that? No.
What was it again?
I'm going to say you didn't hear it. I offered the viewers of Gabbing with Geeks, if they watched their show, that I would show them a picture of my rear end.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, well, it failed miserably, and therefore my arse is staying concealed because I think we only hit about 69 views. FNAF. So I think people might have seen it as some kind of threat rather than a reward as I intended it. So I might need to rethink that strategy in the future and maybe offer them something a bit more lucrative than my bum. But we'll come up with something. We'll knock heads together. We'll think of something. We'll bribe them some way.
Yeah, you say you'll draw a hentai.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll get them in. We've got a few suggestions as well for the next. So obviously, like as we said last week, we're gonna do one of your suggestions next after we finish with 3x3 Eyes, and then I've got a few suggestions for the following few shows. But we'll have to get that out to the public. Get the public to give us what they want us to watch. Obviously, yeah, within reason. Of course, I've stated what I don't want people to suggest to me, but you know, we'll sift through them. We'll get rid of the ones that are undesirable, and we'll get the good ones. So, episode 3. I'm assuming you've watched it. I hope you've watched it.
I just finished watching 3 and 4 today.
Awesome. I rewatched them again today as well. I thought I better because we had to reschedule this recording, so I thought I have to rewatch it because I can't quite remember what happened. I took a few notes about, plot and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, because we're doing episode 3 and 4 today, I'm thinking, and this is more because we're going to do this fortnightly rather than weekly. I'm going to maybe, because the next episode we do will cover 5, 6, 7, and they're all like 45 to 50 minutes each. So we'll be stuffing more into these shows rather than doing just like 2 half an hour episodes. So we'll take our time with these ones. We'll get these ones out of the way. We'll go through these ones in fairly deep, sort of deep order, and then the next one we'll kind of skim over a little bit. We'll just skim through the plot. Well, we'll see how we go. We may be able to fit all 3 episodes, all 45 minutes each, into the anime hour, and we may end up running to anime hour and a half, but we'll see what happens. As long as I've got, as long as you've got the time, Bianca, as long as you don't have anything going on, we'll carry on until we're done. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay. So episode 3, it's called Sacrifice. Did you enjoy episode 3?
I did enjoy episode 3.
I did too. It's been a long time, like I said last week, it's been a long time since I watched this. And I couldn't quite remember most of it, but now it all came flooding back when I watched it. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm interested to see where it goes, because obviously I said to you before, I haven't watched 5, 6, and 7, and I know you haven't watched them yet either. I do know that they were made a few years after these ones, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So it opens with a mysterious guy standing on a jagged rock outside a ruined temple with 3 eyes painted on it. This is back in Tibet. I'm assuming. It doesn't tell you where it is, but I'm assuming it is. And then we cut back to Hong Kong, and Ling Ling is back. Remember, you were asking, is there more Ling Ling? The reason why I do remember this part, the reason why I didn't want to spoil it for you when you asked if Ling Ling turns up again, is because of what happens at the start of this episode. So she reveals that she's tracked the statue to the ownership of a guy called Steve Long, and he's saying that he obtained the statue after it fell from the sky when he performed a purification ritual. So he now has possession of it, but the place is bombed and both of them are seemingly killed. This is why, again, I didn't want to spoil it for you. I wanted you to watch it thinking Ling Ling is gone after 1 minute of the show.
Nah, so, from how you said it, I knew Ling Ling was going to appear.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to watch it and go, oh no, my favourite character's gone.
But I was like, you better not die, you bitch.
But we find out she's okay. She comes back later. But Steve's sister is outside the building that's bombed, and she witnesses it from the street. And she ends up recovering one of the... So the statue's got 3 heads on it, and she recovers one of them. And then a bit later on, Pai and Yakumo, they're actually in Hong Kong waiting to meet Ling Ling, who's said to them that she's found the statue. But because of the place has been bombed that she was in, she turns out to be a no-show. But the girl from before shows up and beats the shit out of Yakumo. Because she believes they're part of the organisation that bombed the place. She reveals her name to be Mei Shin Long. She's the sister of Steve, who was in the apartment that was bombed. But she reveals to them she's got one of the skulls from the statue, and she will trade it for her brother, who she believes has been kidnapped by them. But she ends up as well, when she's fighting Yakumo, she gives him a sort of a palm to the nose and busts his nose. That looks like one of those moves where you can stick the bone in someone's nose into their brain. Did you catch that part? Do you remember?
Kind of.
Yeah, so that could have been one of Yakumo's deaths there. I don't know. It's ambiguous.
Yeah.
But she may have pushed the bone in his nose right up into his brain, which would have counted as another one of his deaths. I think we're up to about 8 now. So they fight for a bit. Some goons end up showing up, and Mei Shin takes a few of them out, but they end up getting the statue head and end up making off with it. But Pai reveals that she's managed to send Takui the thing inside her cane, the flying demon bird inside her cane. She's sent that undercover as a small. It's remained small, and it's went undercover and followed the goons to where they're going. So Mei Shin tells the Yakumo and Pai that her brother performs purification rituals, and that's how he came into possession of the statue. And she believes that he and Ling Ling have been kidnapped. So from this point, you probably get the idea as the viewer that both Ling Ling and Steve are alive. So that ruins the sort of surprise later on, I think, doesn't it? I mean,
I think it was a surprise.
I mean, I don't know, because it's so. I believe we've watched the same dub this time, so I don't know whether it's maybe a bit more left in the dark in the other dub, because I haven't watched that dub. I've watched the one that you've watched. I think you've watched the more recent dub. I think you did last week, so I'm assuming you did this week.
Yes.
So I thought I'll watch this. I thought I may as well watch the same show Bianca's watching, because I remember that was a problem last time we talked about this.
Yes.
So yeah, we need to stick to the same dub. So Pai manages to connect with Takui, who reveals that the goons have made their way to the 32nd floor of a hotel in Hong Kong, and she can see through Takui's eyes that Steve has been tortured. And then Yakumo, this is the point where Yakumo accidentally gropes Mei Shin. This is another one of the problematic tropes that happens in animes, where the head character always gropes some girl.
And this one was usually is almost an accident.
Yeah,
it's always an accident, I believe.
Of course it is. Yeah, I think both times here. Well, I mean, the second time he does this in this episode can't really be classed as an accident. He thought he was groping someone. Let's be honest. So the guys head off to the hotel, the hotel where the brother's being held, and they demand to be allowed into the 32nd floor. But while they're in the lift, in a shocking turn of events, they're jumped by some more goons. And then one of the goons, I think he melts out of the floor, right? Comes up out of the floor. It turns into a demon.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering this right. And then Mei Shin passes out. And while they're having a fight, this demon monster blows Takui's head off the shoulders. So we've lost Takui. He's dead. He's dead now. And in the resulting fight, Yakumo is ejected out of the 32nd floor window, while Pai and Mei Shin end up getting taken captive. So it's a bit of a mess. Everything's a bit of a fuck up. Let's be honest.
It is.
And then we cut to Yakumo climbing back up the wall of the hotel, lamenting how he wished he had super strength as well as immortality. Now, I don't quite understand why he felt the need to climb back up the building, but there you are. I mean, he could have went up the lift, right?
I mean, I thought at least Lin, no? Like, didn't she see him get shot to death at one time? No, I don't think she was there. I could have sworn Ling did see. She saw him got run over, right? That one time?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't see how she wouldn't have figured that out, and why she was super surprised. She's like, and I'm like, what did you think? He got run over.
No, he wasn't. She wasn't there at the time, though. She was still being held captive.
Oh, that's right.
He was on his own.
I swear she was there for one time during his...
She was there when... Later on, when he fights that demon again. But I don't remember her being surprised about him being killed. I think she's now over it at this point, because she talks about him making some money from it at one point.
Later on.
But my problem with it when he went off the building was, like, why did he climb back up? Why didn't he just walk back in the lobby and get in the lift? Or the elevator, as you say. Or go up the stairs? Why climb up the building? I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. It was for a visual gag, I'm assuming. But anyway, he makes his way back up the building any way he can, and he gets to the 32nd floor again, and he finds Steve tied up, in the sort of depths of the hotel, and Steve tells Yakumo that a ritual sacrifice will be offered along with the statue in order to resurrect Kaiyan Wang. Kaiyan Wang is the ancient three-eyed demon who is worshipped by the cultists. He's, as we find out later on, he's the Sanjianankara god, I believe. I could have picked that up wrong, but that's what I believe he is. Does that sound about right? Or is he last? Was he last of them?
It was one of those. I didn't pay attention to his speech, to be honest.
I think it's revealed later on. I can't quite remember. I think he may be the last of them. But so the sacrifice that they have on offer is revealed to be Mei Shin herself. She's tied up, and we end up getting some sort of borderline tentacle porn. Except this is with demon tongue. Yeah, this is. I remember this part now from a while ago. But it's it's sort of borderline.
So
it feels a bit overfeedy, this part, but yeah, it's gross. But just before the demon tears her guts out, he's wounded by an axe that's thrown from the darkness. I can't quite work out who it was that threw it. I don't know whether it was Steve or whether it was Giacomo. I'm assuming it was Giacomo.
I thought it was Steve, because Steve said something while it was getting thrown.
Was that him though? See, that's what I was trying to work out, whether it was Steve or Giacomo that said it. Get away from her or something, he says. But I'm assuming it would have been Steve because it's his sister.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's why I assumed it was him, because like
just
from it makes more sense.
Just from the sort of state of him, he didn't look like he was capable of throwing anything. But yeah,
he
I think
still has his arm, his other arm.
Yeah. So we'll go with Steve. So he's the one that's threw it, and then Giacomo has a go anyway because he throws a spear into the demon's forehead, hits him right between the eyes, and seemingly kills him. But demons, they just shake these things off and get up and pull the thing out of their head and crack on without trouble. So the demon's alive, and he picks up Giacomo and throws him into a clay pot in an attempt to kill him. I think we'll maybe count this as another death because he probably threw him hard enough to kill
multiple times.
Kill a human. Yeah, but he fails because Giacomo, as we know, is immortal. And then Giacomo emerges with the statue in his arms, and he's holding it hostage, and he's threatening to destroy it if the demon or any of the goons come any closer. So the goons all throw all their weapons down, and Giacomo then demands to know the statue's secrets of the demon. The demon is never named. We don't get a name from him, so we'll just call him the demon, even though there's multiple. But the demon decides to do the old bad guy thing and tells Giacomo all the secrets, the history, that Cayenne Wang will grant immortality to the one that retrieves the statue from him. And he says that Cayenne Wang's been imprisoned for 300 years, and then Giacomo's sort of working out that that's the same age as Pai, so things are starting to connect in his head. But he ends up getting, the demon's telling him the story. He snares Giacomo with his tail, and Giacomo then drops the statue. Now, I don't understand, again, why he even bothered telling him the story, like giving him vital information when he could have just snared him like he did here. Seems like a bit of a waste of time. Maybe he was doing it to try and, catch him off guard. So Giacomo, snared by the demon, gets his hand at this point infected, so that the demon is infecting his hand, and in order to make him sort of so it kind of takes over his takes over like control of itself, like in Evil Dead. The way his hand gets possessed. So the demon is trying to make Giacomo gut Mei Xin personally. And in order to avoid doing it, Giacomo ends up lopping his own hand off, which is it's pretty cool. But so the demon, he lops his hand off, but it doesn't stop anything because the demon's going to finish her off anyway. So, but just as he's about to kill Giacomo, Pai enters the room with a machine gun and starts firing all over the place because she's got trouble controlling it, because she's just a little girl. And then some other masked goons arrive on the scene, and they shoot the demon up and all the goons up. And it's revealed that one of the goons is actually Ling Ling, who's back, and she recovers the statue. And while she's doing this, she pulls off a bit more of her Jackie Chan shit, which is always cool. We love that from Ling Ling. And then Ling Ling and her goons grenade the place on the way out, so they blow the place to shit on the way out the door. Mei Xin is distraught at this point at the thought of Pai's boyfriend losing his hand to protect her. Mm-hmm. But then she's relieved to learn that Giacomo is just her gang, so it's all good. She's not too bothered at that point.
I was like, yo, I knew it. He's going to get a harem.
It's just the way she was like, oh, I'm so sorry that your boyfriend lost his hand. He's not my boyfriend. Oh, thank God, that's okay. Okay. Fuck his hand. It's okay. But then so this dub, like, on the way out, Ling Ling is singing "The Roof Is on Fire." Do you remember that part as well?
Yes, I was gonna say the roof.
I don't think that's in the old dub. I think this has been added to this one. So that's.
I was gonna say, if you were gonna watch the original dubbing, did they have something like that?
I'm gonna dub. So I haven't watched the original dubbing in a fair few years. I'm gonna rewatch it after we get done with the whole series. I'll probably rewatch it. And I'll check. I'll see if that happens, because I can't remember that. I don't think that happens. I don't even know when that song was written. So it's possible 90s? That this dub was it? It's possible.
I actually don't know the origin of the song. I just know the song's been there for a while.
It's old, yeah, but I don't know if it's as old as this anime is. So I don't think the original dub had that. I'm fairly sure it didn't. I'll have to double check because it's interested me.
The
I just
comics
laughed
will
when I heard it
also
because
let
I've
us
never heard it.
know.
I've never heard it. I've never heard it before, so it just made me laugh when I heard it. And I thought, yeah, that's what she would do. That's the kind of character she is. That's the kind of thing she'd do. Blow a place up with a grenade, singing the roof is on fire on the way out.
Yeah.
But they're all clearing out once the place has been, when she's bombed the place. And Pi is sort of gets mesmerized by the so the statue that's there is a statue, I believe, of Kaiyan Wang. I'm assuming it is. Anyway, the big one that's in the temple / hotel floor. And she sort of stays behind while everybody else is making for the chopper that's waiting on the roof. And she's mesmerized by the statue. And when they get to the chopper, the rest of the guys, Ling Ling reveals that it was Mrs. Wong, the Zelda-eared lady from the first couple of episodes. She sent the men to help Ling Ling retrieve the statue. And then Yakumo realizes Pai's missing, and he decides he has to go back and save her. He tells everybody to wait where they are because he's Wu, so he can't be killed. So it's best he goes on his own. And as the place is starting to fall down, Pai's standing there still infatuated with the statue of Kaiyan Wang. Sanjian awakens in Pai's forehead, and she shows a vision of the past to Pai, which I believe is showing the killing of all of our people by Kaiyan Wang. And then the mysterious guy from the beginning of the episode shows up again. He turns up in the hotel, and then the demon from before, still not dead, resurfaces and starts attacking Yakumo again as he re-enters the building. And the demon realizes that Yakumo carries the sign of the Wu at this point, so he's got his bandana off and you can see it. And he's saying that only the great Kaiyan Wang is all that remains of the Sanjian Ankara. So he says it's impossible that he could have the sign of the Wu, so he tries to fuck Yakumo up, but he realizes he can't. And then Yakumo does the fucking Jedi thing with his hand and summons it to uses the stub of his hand to summon the severed hand, which slices up the demon, this time killing him. And then Sanjian calls to Yakumo to help her as she's as this mysterious man stares her down, with the building now just beginning to collapse all around her as it burns. And that's where we end the episode. So this one, when this was edited together, obviously for the video that I've got, this really did feel like one full episode, one full 50-minute episode. So I'd never seen it end here, so it's quite cool to see it end here. It was a bit of a cliffhanger, which was missing from the other episode that we watched, and the one previous as well. So, what did you think of episode 3 overall, Bianca? Did you enjoy?
I did enjoy greatly. There were some things I like. I'm so glad you talked about what the demon was explaining about the Kaiyan Wang and all that stuff, because I didn't understand anything. But a lot of times it was the audio that I was hearing, and I'm like, dang, right. I need subtitles. I don't understand.
I think she explains it, Pai or Sanjian explains it more in depth in the next episode. I probably remember that explanation from years ago when I watched episode 3, so I kind of knew what was going on. But if you didn't watch it before, you wouldn't have really known what that flashback was. It was a bit vague, wasn't it? The one where it's like the demon chopping up people. It was like very quick as well. It was only like a couple of seconds, and then it was flashback to current day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, I thought this was a good one. I like episode 3. I obviously like this. The whole thing edited together, episode 3 and 4. I felt like we were back in the swing of it again. It was more sort of balls to the wall action as opposed to the previous episode, which felt like a filler one to me. Even though, yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it as well, and I think you enjoyed it more as well, the second one. But this one was really, I felt like this one was really good. It's very strong. I thought this one was. So jumping straight in, episode 4, it's entitled Straying, and we pick right up where we left off with the building collapsing, with Pai and Yakumo still inside. Yakumo finds Pai passed out on the floor at this point, and the mysterious guy that we saw before is seen walking away. So Yakumo and Pai escape the building just as it's about to collapse with the help of Ling Ling's chopper. So it's not really like a huge escape scene. It's a couple of minutes and they're out of there. And the gang end up returning to Mrs. Wong's mansion at that point. And we cut to 2 weeks later. This felt like more of a natural start to this next episode than what the actual start of it did, if you know what I mean. This could have been, we could have ended right on them escaping and then started here. But it's better to leave on a cliffhanger, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
So they're back at the Mrs. Wong's mansion, and Ling Ling and Steve are seen in a lab of some kind and are analysing the statue. And while this is happening, Mei Shin offers to show Pai and Yakumo around Hong Kong. And Yakumo mutters under his breath that he would have preferred to have been alone with Pai. So we've got a bit of a triangle going on, or the start of a triangle. And then Mrs. Wong reveals her intentions are to ensure the resurrection of Cayenne Wang, and if that fails, she will have Pai take his place as the next Cayenne Wang. So we get sort of an idea of her motivations and what she's up to. So she's not all good. She's not the kind-hearted woman we thought she was, the kind-hearted Zelda woman. So then we cut to the Hong Kong market where Pai runs off ahead, while Mei Shin makes a move for Yakumo. Yakumo, being an idiot, doesn't realise it and manages to imagine a future where he and Pai are living together in Japan. And during his dream, he ends up once again accidentally groping Mei Shin, and she ends up giving him a hard slap this time, which is probably well deserved. So he was imagining he was groping somebody, so he was imagining he was groping Pai, so he is a pervert, basically. Isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Like all guys are in anime. It always seems to be the main character as well. So during the time in the market, Pai feels the presence of the mysterious guy from before. And then she sees him sort of in the distance. And you can see at this point, it's the first time you can see he's carrying the sign of the Wu on his forehead. And then Yakumo and Mei Shin also spot the guy. And Yakumo decides to follow him into an alley. But the guy sort of psychically forces him back into a wall. And then Sanjian appears, so Pai's third eye opens up. And she reveals the man's name to be Benares. I think that's the name she called him, Benares. And she tells Benares that she will never allow the Statue of Humanity to fall into his hands because she knows he's going to be up to no good with it. And then Benares leaves, Sanjian reverts back to Pai, and then she sort of wonders why. So the guy's disappeared. She's wondering why Yakumo's bleeding, so we've got that sort of blackout thing going on again where she doesn't remember what's happened while she was Sanjian. And then Yakumo sort of mentions that he believed the man to be Cayenne Wang himself since he carries the sign of the Wu. And for the previous episode, the demon in the building also told him that Cayenne Wang was the only remaining Sanjian, so he's kind of put it two and two together and imagined this is him. But we find out later on it's not. We find out who he is. Still in the market we are at this point, and we see like a sort of mysterious demon merging with Mei Shin's shadow. I don't know if we see anything else other than just the shadow sort of merging with hers. And then later on, back at the mansion, we're getting ready to have a welcome home party for Steve because apparently he was the only one that was missing. So he gets a party all of his own. And Mei Shin's shadow demon possesses her while she's getting ready for the party. And then she goes into the mansion's lab to steal the statue. And then as she's trying to make off with the statue, Wong's men and the rest of the gang arrive to try and stop her, but they all get taken out. And then Mei Shin busts through the wall to escape with the statue, where she's met by Pai as Sanjian. And Pai sort of forces the demon out of Mei Shin and ends up just collapsing in exhaustion afterwards once the demon flies out of her. But the shadow demon sort of flies off and Pai follows, and then when she finds it, she sees it's taken the shape of Takui, but it's revealed to be Benares in disguise, and he tells Pai that she needs to bring the Statue of Humanity to Aberdeen Harbour and come alone, and in exchange he'll put Pai to sleep and will awaken her once Cayenne Wang is resurrected. So she's worried that he's going to kill her, but he says, no, I promise you I won't. Put you to sleep, and then once we bring back Cayenne Wang, you'll be resurrected again, or you'll be awoken, sorry. So Yakumo arrives on the scene. Benares tells him that if they don't do what he says, they're going to end up like Takui, and he sort of disappears out of Takui's body. I'm assuming he's taken over the body of Takui, the dead body. And he says, your friends will all be like this if you don't bring me the statue. And you just see like a load of blood of this dead demon bird. and he says he'll give them tonight to think it over. So Sanjian tells Giacomo about the history of Cayenne Wang. So this is when she explains the part that you were confused about before, the vision that she was seeing. And Sanjian tells Giacomo that 300 years ago, Cayenne Wang massacred our people with Benares at his side.
Mm-hmm.
So Benares is revealed to be Cayenne Wang's Wu, in much the same way that Giacomo is Pai's Wu, and that he's in order to stop Cayenne Wang at the time, the other Sanjian, so the people who were with Pai, they all sealed them up in the Holy Land. But it was at the cost of all the lives of the rest of the Sanjian, and Pai was the only sole survivor at that point. So now we know the story about why the 300-year periods all matched up. And then Sanjian tells Giacomo that they must prepare to face Benares, so the next night they're planning on both going to face him. So the party goes on, and it looks as if Giacomo gets a bit drunk. And the next party they've decided is going to be a celebration of Pai becoming human. So Giacomo and Pai have a picture taken together, and Giacomo tells Pai that he wants to return to Japan after Benares is dealt with, and he asks Pai to return with him. And he declares his love for her, and she replies with, "After we become human." So he's decided he wants to spend the rest of his life with this woman. But later on that night, unbeknownst to Giacomo, Pai leaves to take on Benares herself. And then Sanjian has a conversation with Pai, telling her that if she dies, Giacomo's life will end too. But Sanjian agrees that they must face Benares alone if Pai's to return to Giacomo. So at this point, Giacomo, realising what Pai's about to do, he sets off after her to Aberdeen Harbour. And Pai ends up meeting up with Benares alone. But before Giacomo can reach her, the two of them engage in battle. And it causes a huge explosion at the harbour, seemingly killing both Pai and Benares. And then I thought as well that the battle was a bit of an anticlimax, considering that this is where, for me, the series ended. This was the final episode. I don't know if the battle felt anticlimactic to you, did it?
Yes.
It did. It was. It felt a bit. I felt like there should have been a bit more of a psychic battle going on here. I don't know if one.
Maybe in the
explosion.
second season they'll do a whole. So here's what happened in that battle.
Maybe, yeah. They may elaborate on it. They have got plenty of time to do it as well, so.
They better.
But the end of the episode, so it sort of ends with the explosion happens, and then we cut to an unknown amount of time later, and it ends with Giacomo setting off on a journey to find Pai, knowing that she must still be alive if he's still alive, because their souls are interconnected. And he states that no matter how many years it takes, he will find her. And he's got her cane with him. I don't know why. There's nothing in that. I mean, the bird died, right? The demon bird is dead, so there's nothing living in it.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's taking it as a keepsake. But he's setting off to go look for her. So yeah, that's how this series ended for me. What did you think? Like, if you're imagining that this is the end, imagine there is no 5, 6, and 7. What would you think?
This sucks. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You want to see more though, right?
Yeah.
Because I do remember thinking, this can't be this. I mean, I know that it's been adapted from a manga, right? So I know that there's a lot more volumes and stuff, and this is just part of it that's been adapted. But I mean, if this is the end of it, you would be thinking you want a bit more of a definitive ending, don't you? Of
course.
We deserve that. I think we deserve that.
Where's my season 2?
Yeah, but I mean, at the time, and if memory serves me right, I don't think season 2 was even made. At the point that I think it wasn't even made when I bought this. So for me, yeah, this was it. But I remember thinking that's still good. Overall, a good show. I thought it was. Anyway.
Yes, it's just like they skip so many stuff.
But I mean, I don't know.
Oh, well, this is an adaptation, so they're probably like, you want to know what happened? Read the manga.
That's probably what it was. It's probably an advertisement for going out and buying the books.
I mean, that's what they all are.
They are, yeah. I mean, basically, they're all adaptations, aren't they?
Yes.
I have had a look. Have you seen any of what happens in the manga? Do you know how long it lasts, or any of that? Have you looked into it?
not. I have
We'll
not.
We'll have to have a look into it. I've looked a little bit into it. I've looked into, after we talked about it last week, I looked into a little bit of what happens in the first volume. And it follows the anime quite close. So I think maybe it's a lot of volumes, I think. So I think there's a lot more to this story, even beyond what we're going to be watching next. I mean, they may end up cramming all of it into episode 5, 6, and 7. I hope not, because it felt a bit rushed here as well. So at least the first episode did. I thought the first episode felt quite rushed. So I hope they don't do that with 5, 6, and 7. I hope 5, 6, and 7 are being given the time that they need.
Okay, I found it.
You found the manga?
Yeah. So
obviously through legal means, Bianca. Yes.
It is. Don't worry, I'm on Wikipedia. It has a total of 40 volumes.
So there you go. So this is a truncated version, isn't it?
A lot. 40 volumes.
And there is no more after 7 was released. There was no more. I don't think they ever made any more, any OAVs or anything like that, or any series for TV. I think that was it.
From what I see, there's the original OVAs, which is 4. Then Legend of the Divine Demon, which is 3 episodes, which I believe is the 46 to 51 minutes version. Yeah. And then there was 2 more extra mangas. So one that is 4 volumes, one that is 7 volumes, and then the original has 40 volumes.
Yeah, so it's long. It's a long...
Dang, the latest one finished this year, May 18th.
Damn. Maybe they will get back to it. Maybe they'll make more. We may watch 5, 6, and 7 and decide that we hated it and never want to see it again. So we're both going into it blind. I haven't seen it. I have seen bits of it, but I haven't actually sat and watched it. I mean, I've owned this for 20 years and I've never watched it, so I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, but I just hope they don't rush it. I hope it's not all crammed in.
Okay, so it seems like the one that ended this year, it's set 12 years after everything that happened.
So volume 1 to 40, is it saying volume 1 to 40 cover the original yes. 4 parts and then the other 3?
Then you mean the other 4?
No, so you have the first 4 parts, which is the ones we've watched up till now, and then the other 3 parts are the ones we're going to watch.
Oh.
Does that encompass the whole 40 volumes? Because that's worrying if that's the case.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Actually, it should. It should be the whole. It should be the whole 40 volumes with the 4 episodes and then the 3 episodes.
Damn, man, that's not good. I mean, it may be that it works if the way they've done it, but it felt like the first couple of episodes of this, they crammed a lot into what would have been a fair few volumes in the manga, didn't it? Felt like a bit rushed, right?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Super rushed.
So I hope this works. I hope it works next. But that may be what kills it for us. We may watch it and go, this is crap. Let's not watch anymore. They haven't made any more, so. But yeah, so taking it as the end of a sort of part, because we know the next part's coming. Excited for the next part?
I am. I'm super excited.
I think I am too. I'm looking forward to it. It's just going to, because they're longer episodes as well, I think it's going to take a bit more sort of commitment to sit and watch. Now, these, I enjoy watching these in like 26-minute chunks. I don't know about you. I think it's quite a good run time for me. But,
I think so too.
Yeah, 40 odd minutes is about that's getting into sort of like normal OAV territory where you've got a bit of a commitment there. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what happens. It's good to finally be able to finish off some series that I probably never thought I would watch. So yeah, it's good. Any sort of closing thoughts then about what we've watched thus far?
I love it so much. I can't wait for the second. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the sequel.
Well, it's the second season, isn't it? So we can call it that. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoy it. Bianca. I'm glad I've chosen something that's to your taste, because I don't think my next choice is going to be.
Looking at the 2014 manga version, which is the one before the 12-year time skip. Gosh dang, they updated that manga art. Oh my gosh.
You're not reading it, are you? Are you reading it?
I'm skimming through it. I'm not reading.
You're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin it. Don't ruin it.
No, I'm not. This is 2014. That hasn't been adapted yet.
Let's get through the anime and then we'll read the manga later.
I don't want to read the manga.
They always say when you read the book and then you watch the movie, you hate the movie because you like the book better. So
always.
we'll wait. Yeah, so that was episode 3 and 4. There's not really much else to say about it. I think we're just sort of waiting now to get our claws in the next few episodes, seeing how this thing plays out. I know I have seen. So obviously I've seen bits of it. I've seen that the animation is a bit different as well. I think they were made. So I think these were made sort of. We said it was 91, 92, right? That's when we said these were made before.
It was I believe the animation went all the way to the 2000. The original was 91, 92, and then the next 3 are 95, 96.
Yeah, so they were made a few years later. So it's possible that it's a completely different studio. I don't know what the dubs are like. I don't know whether it's the same voices. I hope it is. I hate when they change voices. I know sometimes the next series is picked up by a different distributor. It's weird. It's a whole mess of stuff usually with anime, isn't it? So I just hope it's the same voice actors. I hope the animation isn't so dissimilar that it jars you and takes you out of it. Things like that bother me.
So the original 4 that we just finished, I didn't know it was Toei Animation. So hopefully we'll be safe with that.
Is it the same studio?
Not the same studio. The studio became Studio Juno. Yes, so the studio changed. Or Junio. The Toei Animation is the one we should be worried about for the first 4.
All right, so we passed that. So it can only get better now, right?
Hopefully.
Is Toei Animation bad?
Toei Animation is extremely strict. They're the ones who do Dragon Ball.
Okay, good, because I'm not interested in that.
No, like it's Toei Studio in general is very strict with their stuff.
Because if this show lasts as long as I hope it does, we'll probably have to eventually get around to Dragon Ball, even though I don't want it.
OMG! Studio Junio did my favorite animated Barbie movie.
I don't think we're going to get
Barbies
that far.
and the Rockers. That was 1987.
We're probably not going to get to that point. I'm going to have to.
I'm sorry.
Although I'm sure my kids would love it if we did, but no, I don't think we're going to get to that point. Anyway, so we're looking forward to the next 3, right? We'll be waiting with bated breath to watch them. So yeah, I think that's a good. We hit 45 minutes. So, like I say, we're gonna the next episode we're gonna cover 3 45-minute to 50-minute episodes of the anime. So we're gonna go a bit longer next time. I think we're probably looking at an anime hour and a half, and we'll take our time. We're kind of just blasting through this, but we need to take our time. We have to start cramming about 3 hours worth of anime into every show, I think. What do you think? Sounds good, right?
I think so.
But we can do that 3 hours in under an hour and a half easily. So yeah. 5, 6, 7 next. So Bianca, anything we need to look out for from you coming up?
Like my
like if you want to plug an interview that you're having, or maybe perhaps plug the anime hour somewhere else, help me out with the advertising perhaps.
Well, the time of our recording, I have an interview today. So not unless this is going to be released today, it wouldn't matter. But I guess whenever this is released, check out the latest interview I did with a comic creator, John Dexter. I guess that's all I say.
Okay. I can categorically assure you that this will not be released today.
For sure.
I'm going to take a few days to edit this because I am notoriously slow and lazy. But yeah, we'll look out for that. So so is that going live? Is that going to be live? Is it, or are you recording?
Yeah,
that?
It's going to be live.
It's going to be live. Okay. Okay. I may be in your chat, so look out for me there, griefing your fans. But I'll set the notifications. I'll know when you go live. I'll see you. I promise. I'll be there. Don't hold me to that, okay?
X to doubt.
Anyway, thank you for being here, Bianca. Again, it's been a pleasure as always.
Of course.
And we'll see you guys next time. I did say last time that I was going to have a sort of sign off. I forgot to make one up. I don't know. So I'm just going to say again, from myself and Comics Bianca, from me, Finbarr Saunders, peace out. Fnar fnar.